this video we're going to look at graphs and proportion. We're going to start by looking at cubic functions and their graphs. So if you've got y is equal to ax cubed plus bx squared plus cx plus d, where a, b, c and d are numbers, then your cubic graph will look like this. It will have this general shape. It could also be slightly more extreme. By more extreme, it could have like a maximum point and then a minimum point and then go on. So it could be like that. The negative version of that, so that one was when a was positive. So when this number is positive number, so maybe 6x cubed. If you had the a was a negative number, so this is maybe minus 2x cubed, the graph could look like this, or it could look like the more extreme version where you've got a minimum and a maximum and so on. But the general shape is, for this one, for the one on the left, as you move from left to right, it goes up, and generally as you move from left to right, this one goes down. We're going to look at a couple of examples where we have to plot the graph, and it says plot the following graphs in the range -3 is less than or equal to x is less than 3. Our first graph is y is equal to x cubed minus x squared minus 4x plus 4. And we have our table of values. So x ranges between -3 to +3. We're just going to do one of these, show you how you get one of your corresponding y values, and then we're just going to fill in the rest. So on your calculator, the curve is y is equal to x cubed. So you do brackets -3 cubed minus -3, and that's squared, minus 4 times brackets -3 plus 4. And you press equals, and you will get -20. Now to get the rest of those, what you would do is you go into your calculator and you just push the wee back button on like wee D-pad on your calculator, and you can get rid of that 3, get rid of all those 3's and just substitute that in, change those, swap those in for 2's. And you would press equals, and that would give you your next one. So that's how you would work out the next one. Okay, so that's a nice quick way of doing it. And when you do that, you get 6. And then if I just get rid of all of that, and once you do that for all of the remaining whatever number of points, you're going to get for -1, when x equals -1, the corresponding y value is 6. When x equals 0, the corresponding y value is 4. X equals 1, y is 0. When x equals 2, y is also 0. And when x equals 3, y is 10. What we now have to do is plot those points. So the points you're plotting are -3, -20, -2, 0, -1, 6, 0, 4, 1, 0, 2, 0, and 3, 10. So I'm now just going to plot those points, and you'll see them plotted, and then I will draw the curve. Okay, you can see the points that I have plotted. Just remember, we've got from here to here, that's 20 units, and it's 5 squares, which means each square is worth 4. So this one here, for example, this is 1.5 squares, so that's what represents 6. So each wee square vertically is worth 4. So that's how I've managed to plot all of my points. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and draw my graph, and then I will show you what it looks like. And you can see the final version of my graph. You can see it's a smoothish curve, it's not too bad. And there we have it for our first one. Okay, second graph we've got to draw is y is equal to 10 plus 19x minus 4x squared minus 4x cubed. And again, to do the first one, you're going to use your calculator. It is going to be 10 plus 19 times my x. My x value here is -3, minus 4. My x value is -3, and that was squared. Minus 4, and my x value is -3, and that was cubed. And you can do that and get 25. Go in on your calculator and just go back and delete the -3, change it to -2, and you get -12. And go through that again, delete the -2 and change it to -1, you'll get -9, etc., etc. And you're going to have 10, 21, 0, and -77. Okay, I'm just going to label the vertical axes, make life a wee bit easier for me. 75 units is 5 squares, so divide 75 by 5, you get 15. So I'm just going to label vertically then, that's going to be 15, 30, 45, 60, and then there's your 75. And the same way down, that's going to be -15, -30, -45, -60, and -75, and we're ready to plot our points. can see I have plotted my points. I need to take this sort of shape. So I'm just going to pause the video and plot my curve. There we go, and you can see we have a nice smooth curve again. So the first one, remember, it was a positive cubic. So generally, as you go from the left to the right, the graph is going up. And this was our negative cubic. So generally, as you move from the left to the right, the graph is moving down. Okay, a very common exam question is for them to say match the graph to its equation. So we're just going to go through these. This one, first one, is a positive cubic graph. So positive cubic graph, remember a positive cubic graph goes generally like this as you move up from the left to the right. Move from the left to right generally moves up. So this one is going to be number 1. It's a positive cubic graph. Part 2, this is a positive quadratic graph. So this one's a positive quadratic graph, so it's going to be U-shape. So like a smile, so this is number 2. Also on number 2, if you put x equal to 0, your corresponding y value would be 0. And right enough, this graph goes through the origin. Because why we needed that was distinguish between part 3. So part 3, we have got a positive quadratic again, so again it's going to be U-shape. But if you put x equal to 0, you're going to have 0 squared, which is 0, minus 4, which is going to be this point. So this is why this one is graph 3. Okay, number 4 is y is equal to x. Now y equals x, I'll just do a wee bit of working out for this one. Remember our straight lines equation, general equation of straight line is this. So if you y equals x, you could write that as 1x. And so you're plus 0. So that means the intercept is 0. So it goes through the origin and has a positive gradient. So this is going to be part 4 over here. So it's a straight line and it goes through the origin and it has a positive gradient. Part 5 is a negative cubic. So a negative cubic, remember, has that general shape. And the only one that can be is going to be here. Part 6 is a positive cubic. So it is a positive cubic and we've 2 positive cubics. This one we already had sorted out, was part 1. And the other positive cubic was this one. So how we really should distinguish between this one, x is equal to 0, y is also going to be equal to 0. So 0 cubed is 0, and right enough this one goes through the origin here. Part 7, we've got y is equal to 2x plus 1. So again, that's a straight line with a positive gradient and a positive intercept. So it has to be this one. So that's going to be our part 7. Okay, part 8 is a negative quadratic, and negative, so a frowny face, and that is the only one that it could be, would be this one here. So that's our part 8. You could, without doing any working out, you could say that this is the next one by process of elimination. But let's just look at it. We've got y is equal to 1 minus 0.25x. So y is equal to minus 0.25x plus 1. So it's a straight line with a positive intercept, which this one has, and a negative gradient. So there we have all of our solutions done.